the Office of Homeland Security and Civil Defense for a heavy weather briefing early Monday morning. Again, that is because Tropical Depression U2 is heading our way. Again, on its current track, U2 is expected to pass just north of Saipan as a typhoon on Thursday, but as of this time, there are no watches or warnings in effect for the Marianas or for Guam, so that's where our friends from the National Weather Service and Homeland Security are here to tell us more and what to expect from Tropical Depression U2 in the days to come. So joining us on Facebook Live, please continue to maybe share this with your friends if you want to know the latest. We're going to head in there in about a minute. Yeah, it's going to start in about a minute. So again, this is because Tropical Depression U2 is heading our way, though we are still unsure if that current track would mean anything just yet for Guam. So let's go ahead and check it out. I think so. All right. Let's see. If you have any questions, you can probably add those on our Facebook Live as well. And we can ask those questions to the officials here at Homeland who probably know more of those answers than I would. So, this is exciting. Okay. Good. Okay. Looks like we're good.
Please have a seat in the front on the white chairs.
Can I put this up there?
Thank you.
I got one team member here.
Okay, we're gonna get started. Chip, you expect Senator Mike to be coming in?
I don't know. I know I got 11:15 with him, so I gotta rush back.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Unfortunately, we have to meet again, so the break time is over. Short-lived break. Can you hear us okay? Same rules, the media's here. Please hold your questions until after the media clears out. We'll give you guys the heads up when that happens, okay? We got FEMA on the phone.
For those of you who was with us during Menkut, thank you very much. We're well underway to recovery. Now that we have this storm coming, we'll see how it affects. It should not affect recovery operations. would just simply go into a new set of recovery parameters if need be. But right now, we're focused on response. Okay, so let's get out of the recovery mindset and focus on response. Let's let the recovery folks handle recovery. Okay?
Buenos, it's on half a day. Yeah, next slide, please. This is advisory 2. The storm, tropical depression U2. It's named by the by Japan Meteorological Agency. However, Typhoon Warning Center has kept the intensity down just slightly below tropical storm intensity. Next slide, please. Oh. Okay, thanks. Okay, I didn't realize. Okay, here we go. So the storm's located down here, just northwest of Pohnpei, about 175 miles northwest of Pohnpei. This is the color. We can see that most of the convection is actually to the south of the center right now. And this shows the complexity of the atmosphere. And here what we're looking at is a big trough out to the west. It's going to cause this storm to move more in a north, eventually toward the northwest. But earlier in the west-northwest direction toward the Marianas. Could be the biggest threat to the northern islands when it's all said and done. Here's a blow up, and we can see the center is located down in this area a little. And so it's not well developed, but it is developing well. This is a scatterometer. This is a sensor that shows what the wind speeds and the wind direction over the ocean is. So we can see there's a lot of 30-knot winds scattered around this storm. And down in the kind of a monsoon tail. Monsoon's not going to be real strong this time of the year, probably. This is the track. And you can see the main part of the track is headed toward the northern Mariana Islands, just north of Saipan. And we're just outside the 35-knot winds. They're going to get fairly close. And we'll probably have to make a decision tonight whether we go to a tropical storm watch for Guam. And probably tonight we're going to go to a typhoon watch for the CNMI, at least for Saipan, Tinian, and then tomorrow the Northern Islands probably. This is the uncertainty. Right now it's the computer models are pretty well in agreement that the storm would move toward Saipan, Tinian, and even north of it. There's a couple outliers that bring it to the farthest to the south, and we'll keep an eye on those. So 7 a.m. it was located 8.7 north, 156.4 east. It's about 855 miles east-southeast of Guam, and about 175 miles northwest of Pohnpei. Current movement was toward the west-northwest at 9 miles per hour. And the current intensity is 35 miles per hour. That's just 5 miles per hour below tropical storm intensity. Could become a tropical storm later this afternoon or this evening. Damaging winds probably in the next 6 to 12 hours. Destructive winds in the next 24 hours. And typhoon force winds in the next 36 hours. Once those are determined, then we'll have a better handle on the extent of those wind fields. Should be considerably farther, a greater extent to the north side than to the south side. Right now we don't expect any damaging winds, destructive winds on Guam. Like I said though, the damaging winds are going to get fairly close, especially to the north part. And we may go ahead and issue a tropical storm watch later today or tonight. So maximum sustained winds right now 25 to 30 miles per hour with higher gusts. We're looking at 60 to 75. Actually, we probably up that a little bit to around 80 miles per hour, Tinian and Saipan. But if it stays on a more southern track, then they're going to get considerably more winds. This storm is going to be probably category 3 or 4 as it passes the closest point to them. Seas 30 to 40 feet in the open ocean, probably 8 to 10 foot surf for us. We don't expect any inundation at this time. High tide information, we do always plan for high tides, and these are the high tides, and that should be 2.4 feet, not 1.4 feet, so Wednesday and Thursday. Precipitation, right now the models indicate that it's not going to be a lot of precipitation for us. That as the storm consolidates, most of the precipitation is going to be concentrated around the center. And so we're looking at 2 to 3 inches right now. Of course, more if the storm moves further south than predicted, or less if it moves further north than predicted. Right now, we don't expect to issue flash flood products for the storm for Guam. Everybody's in Core 4 as far as I know, and we'll closely monitor the system for more westward movement and more rapid intensification, and we'll let you know later today our thoughts on tropical storm watches or typhoon watches. So expected damage right now is less than tropical storm category A. That's category A is 30 to 49 miles per hour. So you could maybe some dead limbs, light damage, poorly constructed buildings. They have to be really poorly constructed, and but strong rip currents will be out there, and people need to stay out of the water as this thing approaches. Tropical storm category A winds, those are 30 to 49 miles per hour. Those can blow down some dead limbs, usually dry coconuts, lots of leaves, and occasionally stronger gusts than showers. So could then do some damage to tarps and canopies, so make sure they're secured. And we expect it to be a typhoon category 3, could even be typhoon category 4. It's going to be quite a ways away from us based on the current forecast. So worst conditions Wednesday night, Thursday morning. We'll keep alert for changes such as relocations. They would do that if they have trouble locating the center. Erratic movement, more rapid intensification. And remember, the updates will occur frequently every 3 hours. So any questions? Right now, it looks pretty good for Guam. Doesn't look so good for the CNMI. However, we'll continue to monitor that, and it's not in a great place. It's not in a great location. The thing we have going for us right now is that the computer models are pretty much consolidating around a track that takes it just north of the Saipan-Tinian area. Any questions?
Chip, what? We're going to hold questions till the media leaves.
Oh, okay.
For those in the call, do you have any questions for Chip?
No questions here, Chip.
I'll take this one and this one. All right. So the heavy weather briefing is done. Now we're going to head out. We just heard from Chip Gard from the National Weather Service. Oh my. Wait a second. Thank you. I got a lot of stuff in my hand. All right, so, okay. So we just heard from Chip Gard again from the National Weather Service. He says it looks pretty good for Guam, but not for the CNMI. Again, that is because Tropical Depression U2 is making its way here. But at the same time, you can just expect some strong winds. Nothing else much has changed from my previous discussion that we mentioned. So just stay alert. I know tonight, hold on a second, let's see. Later today we expect more if this does change, if there are any changes in the advisories. And so again, you heard it first from Chip Gard. He says it looks pretty good for Guam, but not perhaps for the CNMI. We could expect maybe a Category 3, Category 4 storm in that region. But just stay alert. we will continue to give daily alerts. Jenna Bloss, hello.
Hi,
She's here. So Jenna Bloss, spokesperson for Homeland Security. Maybe tell us more about what we just saw from the heavy weather briefing.
Sure. So although Chip did highlight that the storm track is currently supposed to go north of Saipan, we can still anticipate a lot of changes with this, as we've seen in the past with past storms. So we really encourage the community to stay as prepared as possible. At the very least, clear loose debris around your home, secure any tarps, canopies, trampolines, especially for those that are still recovering from Typhoon Mangkhut. You want to still be able to prepare as much as possible by just making sure you have your emergency preparedness kits available and making sure you have emergency supplies just in case it does track more south toward Guam.
Right. I think it's a little early on. But can you tell us a little bit more as to what we can expect in the next few days as far as Homeland Security is concerned and the alerts going out?
Sure. So again, we'll continue to monitor with National Weather Service. We'll continue to push out as many updates as they produce. They have been putting them out every few hours. So continue to monitor our page, Guam Homeland Security, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also follow us on our webpage at ghs.guam.gov. We also have our 24-hour watch desk available for calls. So you can contact 475-9600 if you need more information about the storm.
Perfect. And on that note, you can also follow KUAM News to find out the latest on this storm. And there he is, Chip Gard, the man himself.
The man himself.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
All right. So, Chip Gard, maybe you can give us just a quick explanation as to our brief there. You said it's not going to be that bad for Guam in the current projections.
Well, we always say that, these things can have a mind of their own, and the current projections have it headed more toward the CNMI. And so these are storms that are located to the southeast of us. We always have to keep an eye on those storms, because if they move more to the west before they start their northward movement, then it's going to bring it considerably closer to us. So right now, based on the current predictions, it looks pretty good for Guam, but we're going to be updating these things once we start putting out advisories every 3 hours. So right now these come out, they're updated every 6 hours. And once we go to a watch or a warning, they'll be coming out every 3 hours. So this is a storm we have to keep an eye on. Right now things look good for Guam, but keep in mind things change.
Right.
And so this is based on the latest information that we have, but that could all change in the next 12 hours or in the next 36 hours.
Definitely. And either way, you do say that we expect some strong winds coming our way?
Well, we expect winds that are approaching damaging wind intensities right now based on this forecast. If it moves a little farther south, then we'll be in the damaging winds. Were it to continue to move toward the west-northwest and not take that turn north, then we could be in for typhoon force winds. Right now it looks like less than tropical storm force winds, but very close to tropical storm force winds.
Nice. So we'll look out for your watch that you're going to put out maybe later today?
We could put it out later today, yes.
Okay.
Okey-doke.
Awesome. So don't forget to follow KUAM News for the latest on Tropical Depression U2. And again, it is Think Pink Day, so that is why we are wearing pink. And on that note, that's a kind of a better note, but also please stay alert. Again, as you heard from Chip Gard, anything can happen. Stay alert to KUAM.